Welcome to The Explainer. I'm your host, and look, as a materials scientist, I gotta be completely honest with you. It physically pains me to see how profoundly misunderstood ancient technology is today. I mean, you probably picture ancient scribes furiously scribbling away on some crude, crumbly, primitive old paper, right? Well, prepare to have your profound misunderstandings corrected.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because whether you realize it or not, you've been living a biological lie. What you've been casually referring to your entire life as ancient paper? Yeah, it isn't actually paper at all. It is a highly engineered, deliberately constructed composite material that required a deeply practical understanding of plant biology to pull off.
The general, uneducated assumption is that papyrus is just simple, mashed-up pulp. Just some primitive, wet mush that ancient people slapped together and dried in the sun. But the reality is far more elegant. What the Egyptians actually engineered was a complex biological laminate. They weren't sitting around doing arts and crafts in the dirt. They were meticulously engineering a sophisticated polymer matrix.
Let me ask you a serious question here. If you had to build a reliable medium to store the entire administrative, cultural, and scientific data of your civilization, would you trust your empire's data to modern acidic pulp that literally degrades in just a few short decades? Or would you trust a giant, scientifically manipulated swamp weed? Papyrus was literally the internet server of the ancient world. The stakes for preserving this information were absolute. And because it functioned as that ancient internet server, controlling its production meant controlling information itself. The manufacturing of papyrus was definitely not some casual afternoon craft done by street artisans in a local bazaar. It was a fiercely guarded, state-run monopoly that began all the way back around 3000 BCE during the Egyptian First Dynasty. They kept the specific manufacturing process a closely held state secret for 4,000 years. Just let that duration sink in for a second. 4 millennia.
So let's examine the raw material itself. The Cyprus papyrus plant was essentially a massive 5-meter-tall aquatic weed growing in dense thickets along the Nile Delta. To manufacture the writing surface, highly trained workers first had to painstakingly strip away the rigid, green triangular rind. Doing this exposed a soft, white, spongy inner pith. Now, this pith is made of highly porous ground tissue, which is essentially a network of empty cells acting as air passages. Biologically speaking, these hollow tubes were just designed to keep the heavy plant stock buoyant in the water. But the Egyptians looked at that and saw a distinct engineering opportunity.
Inside that spongy, hollow pith are rigid, longitudinal bundles packed tightly with cellulose and, significantly, a substance called lignin. So the crucial point is that this lignin acts as an incredibly tough, woody natural polymer. It's essentially biological armor against degradation. This natural lignin armor is precisely why these ancient scrolls can sit buried in the harsh, blistering dry sands of the desert for thousands upon thousands of years without turning to dust. Frankly, I'd love to see you try getting that kind of archival lifespan out of your standard printer paper. Not going to happen.
To construct a laminate, they didn't just blindly mash up this pith into a messy paste like we do today. They took soaked, swollen strips of the plant and meticulously laid them side by side in a perfect row. Then, they placed a second layer of strips directly on top, but at a perfectly right angle. This orthogonal grid structure is fundamental material science. By crossing the grain, it gave the resulting biological mat immense tensile strength across multiple axes, making it incredibly resilient to tearing or snapping under stress. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the adhesion. There is absolutely zero glue used here, none whatsoever. Instead, they cleverly exploited what we can call a biological dovetail glitch. While those orthogonal layers were still wet, workers beat them completely flat with a heavy hammer. This intense physical pressure systematically collapsed all those hollow air passages inside the plant cells we talked about earlier. As the water evaporated, the crushed cell walls were violently forced to merge and physically interlock, behaving very much like a microscopic dovetail joint in fine carpentry.
Once these individual engineered sheets were fully dried and successfully locked together without a single drop of adhesive, they had to be assembled into a functional product for the scribes. They were joined end-to-end using a flexible starch paste to form massive, continuous long rolls. And notice the brilliant design choice they made here. They were always carefully wound so that the horizontal plant fibers, what they called the rectoside, remained on the inside of the roll. This brilliantly protected the actual writing, while naturally accommodating the biological sheet's inherent tendency to curl inward.
And this brilliantly illustrates the fundamental difference between modern paper and ancient papyrus.
Look, modern paper manufacturing relies on a violently destructive process called maceration, which chemically and mechanically smashes plant tissue to absolute pieces just so the individual cellulose fibers can be felted back together. It's cheap, it's aggressive, and frankly, it's a bit barbaric from a pure engineering standpoint. The Egyptian method, however, kept the plant tissue entirely intact, creating a beautifully woven biological mat. It was a slow, incredibly complex, and vastly superior structural process.
But basic economics always wins out over superior engineering, doesn't it? The 4,000-year reign of this state-run monopoly didn't last forever. In the 8th century CE, Islamic rule introduced true, macerated paper to the region. Because this smash pulp paper was so much faster and cheaper to produce, incredibly versatile and far easier to scale for mass consumption, it completely disrupted the ancient market. The highly guarded, vastly superior biological laminate of the Egyptians simply couldn't compete on price, and by the 12th century CE, the entire papyrus industry was driven to total extinction.
You know, looking back at all this data and kind of setting aside all the rigid technical analysis and, sure, my smug superiority for a minute, it really is genuinely humbling. We literally built the entire administrative and cultural history of the ancient world on a hammered swampweed. They took a wild plant, masterfully leveraged its deep cellular structure, and engineered an interlocking biological sponge that effortlessly outlived the very empire that created it.
So, the quote-unquote paper of the ancient Egyptians wasn't really paper at all, but an advanced structural composite. And to think they figured this all out thousands of years ago, now that's absolutely wild. It really makes you wonder, what other primitive technologies from the ancient world are we fundamentally misunderstanding today?